welcome to Watopian Weekly, the podcast, Season 5, Episode 19, the podcast for Zwifters, Cyclists, and everyone else. Each week here, we are here to discuss all things Zwift, life, and beyond. And well, here she is. Ladies and gentlemen, the enforcer on the Zwift ladies, star of the Iceni series, with her eyes on the prize and nothing else. Except, every once in a while, hitting the back arrow on her keyboard so she can turn the camera around, and so she can see how far she is in front of all the other competition. Gina! Woo! Gina, how are you?
Woo! Yeah, good. Yeah. Happy to be back. Been a while.
Yeah, man, it has been. Oh, this is fantastic. Thank you for being here. I know I'm amped up today. I mean, I feel like I'm a little loud, but let's do it, right? 2 cups of coffee. Woo! All right, let's go. I know I shouldn't have this much caffeine. I know it's crazy, but here we go. This person has finally been convinced. Oh, he's with us here. This person's been finally convinced to get a mountain bike. Now he's stuck figuring out what size, what wheels, what style suspension, cross country, down country, even though he's more of a rock guy. And he hasn't even thought about what color he's going to get, which is probably the most important. Josh! How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Dustin. I appreciate that you're AC/DC reincarnated here.
I got to flip up my hat or something, right? Anyway. But oh, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're in rarefied air here. I'm not sure if we are ready for this, but we are so lucky that this person has given up their time to be with us. Amongst all of their media interviews that they've had scheduled today, he's made a priority. Here he is, the reigning Coalition repeat champion for Category C. And he says he's not a climber. James! Woo! James, how are you, man? Champion.
Yeah, not too bad. You made the same mistake as last year where you're supposed to refer to me as Your Majesty. So I thought you would have learned that. I still hold by the fact that I'm not a climber. If you've done any of the FRR or any other racing, then I'm not at the front. However, for some reason yesterday, I managed to be relatively close to the front, and then gravity took control. So, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, we will.
You didn't put on your crown for this podcast,
where's
so
your
I'm
crown?
disappointed. You could have at least swung by a Burger King or something and picked up a paper crown.
I'm in the process of upgrading, being a repeat champion. So we'll
add more jewels and bling to the.
Yeah, is it? I think a really nice lower back tattoo might look nice. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
Something to think about.
Maybe.
Okay.
Questionable behavior.
Well, it's good to see you guys. I feel like we haven't talked for a while. I know it's been last week we were ended up riding and everything, and it was just that's how things go. We ride a lot too, and sometimes we only have time on the weekends, so that happens. And it's just been So it's been a week. Oh my gosh, it definitely has been a week. So we should talk. We should catch up because we haven't talked for a while. Gina, what have you been doing?
Yeah, so we had the pleasure of having spring break in the Netherlands. That's why I wasn't available last week to actually record anything. So I went to visit my mom in Germany, and the original plan was to actually bring the bike. And then I saw the weather forecast, and I took my running shoes instead. So I ended up doing 7 kilometers something, run through the German countryside, through the snow, up and down, and it was actually a lot of fun. But I have never felt this amount of muscle pain in my legs on a day after doing a workout.
Yeah, because running is I don't know why anybody runs, but
I don't know what that is. Foreign concept.
Yeah.
Did you not take any skis?
It felt really weird. It was really weird to be running. I never run.
Yeah. You should have taken some skis. I don't know if you watched any of the Winter Olympics, but I saw a bit of one where there was one of the athletes was skiing uphill, had been skiing for hours, and he was still going quicker than I've ever run. So that's quite impressive. So yeah.
There
he's
wasn't
got
enough
wax.
snow for that. Like
Oh,
it was a nice white layer, but it wasn't like snow as in you could snowboard or ski or langlauf or whatever.
Sounds like enough to ruin a pair of rental skis that are not yours.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, we had that much. We got dumped on with snow the other day, and it was just crazy. It was one of those things where everything was gone, everything was melted, and we're like, yes, it's spring. I had ridden my bike outside. I was so excited for it, and then like,
don't you know, Dustin? It's called fake spring.
I know, that's exactly what it is. Oh my gosh, we got dumped on. We got like we got 8 inches or something like that, and it was I don't know how many kilometers that is, but it's a lot, or even centimeters. But
20 centimeters.
Yeah, something like that. And it was crazy, and it was like coming down an inch an hour or a kilometer per hour, something like that. I don't know. No, it was the speed of the wind was something. It doesn't matter. But it was coming down really fast, and we ended up it was great because we had the day off. I got the day off of school and everything. We went sledding. It was really fun. Yeah. Oh, anyway, it's well, that's great, Gina, and I'm glad that you went running and everything. Sorry, 2 cups of coffee.
Did you do a Sunday race club too?
Yeah. So for the rest, if you want to finish the catch up, I'm focusing a bit more on training after the finish of ZRL. Like I decided that it would be good to not do some races for a while and just, give the body some rest again. But the only race that I still do is the Sunday Race Club. But they had put me up a category, and today is the first time that I get put down a category again. So
ooh, okay.
I wasn't too happy with my upgrade. Let's say it like that, because I ended up riding most of the races by myself, time trialing, and with a bit of luck there. That would be another person dropped, and then we could work together a little bit. So that's happened sometimes. And on Sunday, I actually had a pretty good final. Like, okay, I got dropped from the front group, but I ended up in the second peloton. And I was like, yes, this is good. I'm getting the hang of this. And I actually finished respectably mid-pack, and I was like, okay, well, that's a bit of a shame, but, new weigh-in. It was in a better, monthly cycle moment for me. So I wasn't on my period. I retained less water weight. So I was like, okay, maybe next time, because often I could almost get over the top of a hill, but I just fell off when they started sprinting for the segment point. And so it's like, okay, I'm having a good day, the watts are there, the numbers are there, I have 2 kilograms less for next month. So I was actually seeing it positively in my category 3 endeavors. And then this week we get the start list, and I'm back in category 4. So I honestly, I don't understand the categorization system, because I was performing well and I have less weight this month. Yeah. And now I get to go back. Anyway, I'll take it, because I will be very happy to race in category 4 today and actually see the front of the race.
Yeah, more competitive.
Yeah,
more competitive is always fun, being at the pointy end.
Yeah, being at the front is always more fun than being at the back.
Then they're probably going to upgrade you next week or whatever.
Yeah. Well, what should I do? I'm also I don't know what the legs will feel like when I get on, because I had a little bit of a party yesterday, so there's some leftover alcohol in my body. But basically, I'll just go for what I can, and if they upgrade me back to 3, I will take it. But I'm not gonna watch my numbers or watch where I end up. I just want to race, and if that's the conclusion, then yes, then
just enjoy it and race. You can only race what's in front of you, and if you got the opportunity to be at the pointy end, then go for it. So good luck.
Exactly, and I mean, put a finish line or a segment point in front of me, and I can't hold it back anyway. So I can think that I want to however much I can, but I'm not going to be able to, because when I see a finish line, gotta take it, right?
Yeah. That's right. That's awesome, Gina. Cool. Well, good luck today, and I know if you have to leave early to getting ready, go for it. Yeah, that's gonna be great. All right, and so well, keeping on going. Speaking of training, Josh, I know you've been doing some long zone 2. Right?
Yeah, I still hate it. But I know it's been good for me, but I've been doing 2.5 to 3.5 4-hour zone 2 rides, and lately kind of mixing it up. Like yesterday, I did 18 intervals of 30 seconds of like 160% of FTP for like breakaway simulation, which I mean, cardio hung in there just fine, but like my legs were not cooperating at the end of that. But yeah, so it's been fun. I did a outdoor ride for 2 hours. On my outdoor road bike, I only have a single side power meter, and it said I did 3 watts less than my FTP for 2 hours. So I think either I've had a historical fitness increase, or what's probably more likely is my power meter is overreading. Because I don't think you know
wasn't performing well in the cold weather.
Yeah, I did push. And I did like feel like I did really well, but yeah, 3 watts shy of your FTP for 2 hours. I don't think that's realistic.
Where you only clipped in one side and just pedaling with one leg.
Yeah, right. I mean, when I've done like it's a left side power meter, when I've done it before, my right side is typically more dominant anyway. I don't know. I haven't used it. This is the first time I've used it though, in like, this season, I guess. So I think what's more likely is the power meter's overreading. As much as I'd like to tap myself on the back and say like, hey, good job. You did 3 watts shy your FTP for 2 hours.
That's awesome, though. I would take it. Hey, that's fine. It's get those Strava crowns, man.
Yeah,
that's
either that or that's just like moving time, not counting like stoplights and things like that.
Sure.
But
or a car pulling out in front of you. I saw that clip. That was dangerous. Oh my gosh. And you didn't have if that happened to me, I know what I would do, and I would be regretting it the whole rest of the ride by yelling at that driver. But
some idiots who don't know how to use their turn signal, part of the course.
Yeah, Josh is in the bike lane, and then this car just turns right in front of him.
Yeah, just decides to be like hit their brakes and then turn right into a parking area. Like immediate, like very abruptly. So almost hit them, but did not. So
yeah, it's just that would be bad. Good job. Your brakes have been bled though. See, now this is good
importance of bike maintenance right there.
Yeah, because you were bleeding your brakes, and so they worked.
Yes,
you did it right. Oh man, and then and James, I mean, besides being world coalition world champ, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that I helped you with that, which we'll talk about that as well. What have you been up to, man?
It's been a very light week because it obviously come up the back of FRR World Tour and the Mad Lad Challenge, which meant me riding pretty solid for 11 out of 12 days, and so I've only been on the bike for a ladder race on Wednesday and obviously the Coalition Championships yesterday. So in the ladder race, we went up against White Rhinos around Innsbruck, which was quite good because it gave an early flavour of one of our race circuits for the Coalition Championships. Yeah. And a big shout out to our Coalition team because we managed a top 5 shutout in the race, which is really, really good.
That's rare, I think. Good job.
Yeah, and I finished third, so I'm really happy with that. So it was a really good race. And to be fair, it felt a bit bad on White Rhinos because they pushed us all the way. They kept us honest, and we've had to repeatedly attack to wear them down. So I felt the result was great for us, but didn't really reflect the efforts that they put in. So if any of them are listening, shout out. It was a really good race. I think you were a bit unfairly treated, but we'll take the 5 at the front. The table never lies. So yeah, I think the team are just getting back into the shape of things and starting moving in the right direction after I think what was it, like a 10 race losing streak that we had. So but that was a great result, and that also obviously set up for Saturday's showdown with Dustin, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah, that's true. We will talk about that, and we don't want to bury the lead for sure. Well, that's been great, man. And you have been putting in the work, dude. Your climbing has been off the charts. I mean, it's awesome. So it was good to see that. I mean, not really from my perspective, but I mean, it's good for you. I'm happy for you.
You went past me when I was in a whole world of hurt, so that's fine. You'd like to think if you'd done that much climbing in the FOR Tour, there'd be some benefit of it. I would have hoped for more, or if that makes sense. But having gone up the grade 30 times in the last 2 weeks, you'd like to think I know exactly where you can push and where you can't on that particular route. So I do think that did help. It did feel a little bit like deja vu and starting to hallucinate going up there. So it was a bit worrying. But thankfully, everyone was in multicolored kit, so it was a bit freaky. So that was good.
Yeah. I think we'll definitely have to talk about this first because we got that going on here. Well, man, for me, I've been doing I had to restructure my week because we had a ladder race on Tuesday, and then ladder race on Tuesday, so then I had to restructure my week, and then I can't remember what else. Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday I think we lost. And then Wednesday, I had 2 ladder races this week. Oh, I forgot about that.
Dang, look at you.
Yeah, I know. That was too much for me. So, like, Tuesday we lost. I can't remember what it was. It was pretty. I can't even remember who we played. But we lost. That's okay. I did my best. I can't remember what the result was, but I know we lost. And then on Wednesday, my Coach Cat thing was to just ride for 1 hour at Zone 2. So I did that. That was no problem. That felt pretty good.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why you keep on getting like 3 hours. What volume are you at, by the way, Josh?
8 to 10 hours a week.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm at 4 to 8. So, I barely hit 4 if I'm lucky. So, just because my work schedule and everything. So then on Thursday, I have to give a shout out. I can't even remember. It was the S4WT team that we played, and and we ended up we won on our ladder race, and it was the not Ocean Cliffside. It was I can't remember the route, but it was the one that ends on the volcano KOM, and so I was really nervous about that because we went up Titans and I can't remember the route, but we went up Titans and then we had to go up. We had to the big flat section, then we had to finish the KOM, and I had a pacing strategy for that. Our illustrious captain for Coalition Vexus, DJ. Shout out to DJ. He couldn't make it to DS, but he gave us very specific instructions on what to do, where to attack, and where he thought we should attack. And I just want to say that it's always
it looks like this was on Rolling Highlands.
That's no, it wasn't Rolling Highlands. It was because we were in Watopia. It was, I can tell you.
It looks like you did a race versus SWAT on Rolling Highlands and then versus Total TT on Legends in Lava.
Legends in Lava, that's it. Yeah. Hey, man, you know it better than I do. Thank you very much. Thanks.
I'm just looking at the results here.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. And so thanks for that. And I can't even remember what we did on the what did we do on Tuesday then? That first one against the SW4T, whatever. What did it say? We lost that one, I think.
Yeah, you lost 2 laps on Rolling Highlands, and I see you in 5th place here.
Yeah. Yep, that sounds right. And then how about for what was this final score on the one we did on Thursday with
you won 29-26.
Ooh, oh man, I thought it was only by 1 point. We were trying to do the math, and when you're that like in the red and trying to do math, like we first thought we only won by 1 point, so that's what I thought we won. And then someone's like, no, we lost by 1 point. Like, no, and then somebody redid it again.
Hey, it's still better than in a 5v5 ladder race. There's 55 points on the table, odd number, and I've been convinced on more than one occasion that we've tied with my tired brain math. So. Not mathematically possible, but very insistent that we shot.
I'm pretty sure we've tied before when I've raced. Maybe not.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
In a 4v4, it's possible.
Okay.
But 5v5 is not mathematically possible unless someone drops or something.
Well, so when we were going up the KOM there, thankfully Chris, shout out to Chris on our team, he was able to follow the very first attack, and he was able to get up there and got second. I got third, but it came down to the last part, and the kicker of the KOM, or that KOM is like the last part is like 15% or something, isn't it? It's something horrible like that. And so I put in everything I had, and I was able to get third. So happy about that. It was hard, but that climbing is nothing like what we got going on here. But that we have in the big club championship here. So, but before we do that, before we talk about the Coalition Club Championships, we got to get to Gina. We want to talk about the ZWB Omnium. Would you mind speaking about that? Please.
Yeah, so we actually also recently had our club championships, and it was on a new kind of format, actually. It was an omnium kind of format where, if you know track cycling a little bit, where you have all kinds of different disciplines, and then together they will form your point total kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So my team was looking at that like, okay, how can we potentially do something like that, but then for Zwift racing? And the idea was that we did a lot of test events, and the idea was to do it for club championships, and then we actually liked it so much that we wanted to try and see, okay, how can we potentially move a format like this into the full Zwift world? And the idea is that you have 4 different races, and also 4 of these different races all have a different format. They won't be very long races, but they're also longer than the tiny races. So it's a little bit of an in-between. And the idea is that you will always start with sort of a prologue, which is a TT, so an individual time trial. Then there's something sprint focused, so that would be more inclined to be like a sort of a points race with some segments, some sprint segments in there. There's a scratch, and then the final was actually something different, but we realized that wasn't possible to do for the whole of the Zwift world. But we decided that would be a combination of segment points and finish points, so that would be the actual point race more as we know it, whereas the sprint quali is really about, okay, the fastest times on the sprint actually win. So you have the points race like that, where the FAL is in check, and then you have a points race where FTS is more in check. And that's the idea. The first event was a learning curve, obviously, because we quickly realized that for the lower categories, maybe there wasn't enough time. I think after the spicy scratch, to actually do the crit royale as well, where at least the timing was very, very tight. So there will be some changes regarding that. But overall, it was really well received. And there will be another ZWB Omnium in, 2 days from recording. So on Tuesday again.
Ooh. All right. And what time is that at? Is there do you know?
At this point, I think it is mostly European time that works well. And with anything new that you try, you kind of need to figure out, is there enough want for something like this to actually also go into a time zone that is not your own time zone. So obviously we chose Europe because we're a Dutch team and a European-based team. But if it seems to work, we would love to actually make another time zone and maybe even a third time zone come into play for the next round.
Nice.
I don't know if we're actually starting competing with any other series, because Dirt Racing Series is also coming up. Do you know which day that will be?
Yeah, it's on Tuesdays. Yeah,
yep.
Tuesdays too,
so that's actually something we need to start taking into account as well. Well, which day do you actually want to do? Because if Dirt Racing Series actually comes back on Tuesday as well, how many people will we lose to team competitions in DRS? Anyway, I'm not part of the organization, but I just asked Dustin if he could make some room for me to actually talk about the initiative from my team. Yeah,
no, that's awesome. That's so cool, and there's so many great events there too. I'd like to try it too. Oh man. So if I have a day off, I'll have to join or something like that.
Yeah, and if you Google or if you look on Zwift Insider, there's actually a page on Zwift Insider that gives you a little bit of information, and also there are websites built where you can actually see the point counting. So it's
cool.
like a live website that has been built by one of our team members. And after every race, it kind of like updates. And I think even after every segment, it could update.
How do people do this? I have no idea. That's incredible. Because especially like after a segment, how can it update live like that? That's awesome. Yeah,
I suppose it works a little bit similarly to the sauce overlay thingies, sure. Right? So they can do that as well. So why not us? I would say.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on the series. I hope it goes well, and I can't wait to race in it. I hope we get to do it because that would be perfect
sounds
for the
fun.
summer.
I'd be interested.
I like that, and because the tiny races can sometimes be too tiny.
Yeah, but, and the first one was Scotland focused actually. So the prologue was Lock Loop, like 6 kilometers of Lock Loop, and then we did for the sprint race, the FTS race, Glasgow Crit City, which is always fun.
Yeah, it is. I like that.
Then the scratch race had a custom finish on City and Segur, so that was 14.5 kilometers, and that's where you see that the races actually become a little bit longer.
Right.
And then the Crit Royale was the Glasgow Reverse 5 laps, which ended up being 15 kilometers. So if you count it together, it's actually 42 kilometers about that you're doing on an evening like that.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
And doing the Glasgow Crit reverse, like, I mean, I know we do it so much the other way, or the forward way, but like doing it reverse is like, it can, I know it's silly to say, but it's completely different tactics, I think, on that, how you figure out how to do that. But, oh my goodness. Well, that's awesome. Well, speaking
I
of,
haven't seen the routes for Tuesday yet, so that's something that you would have to look up yourself if you're interested.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to look. We'll definitely have to talk that out. Well, I want to see it. And are you going to be streaming these, Gina? Do you know? Or
I'm actually not writing them at the moment because okay. I wanted to put a little bit less pressure on myself mentally and physically. So yeah. And if you want to put less pressure on your body, this one is not the way to go.
Yeah, it sounds just like it. So, oh man. Well, speaking of one club championship to another, we have to talk about the Coalition Club Champions because we have the reigning world champ for a C out of all
two-time champ.
Out of all 11 available riders, he is the world champion. But we do have to talk about that real quick. And so congratulations to James, because that was not easy. Everybody who showed up came to race, and they did not make it easy for you. I made sure I was trying to. I mean, I wanted to do an alliance. I really wanted to, and you said no. So
I didn't say no. I just ignored you, Dustin. There's a difference.
But it was definitely something that we wanted to try and get to you for sure. I wanted to try and help. But so before we get too into it, the first race I didn't even know was a TT with the draft off. Which I don't know about you guys, but when the draft is off, that messes with my head. I don't know. What do you all think about that?
Yeah. It always feels weird, to say the least.
Yeah.
Because
like I'm always.
Yeah.
We could have made it a little bit more complicated by having a no HUD one as well, just to really play with your head Dustin, from that side.
Oh man. But like, I guess I don't realize it's all in my head because like I the draft whatever it does affect you though, I think. But yeah, first one TT, I didn't realize it. Bikes were all neutralized, so of course James is on the BMX. And then I'm trying to upgrade my Athos, so I should have been on the Athos to get the extra feet or meters or whatever, kilometers in height, so I can upgrade that thing. But yeah, so I went with the SL8, of course, even though it didn't matter, but it just looks cool. But James went out of the gate at about 500 watts. I try and match him, And I am not kidding, 500 watts out of the gate. So I try and match him, and I burned pretty much all my matches trying to match him. And then I realized the draft is off, and I'm like, this is dumb. And I was trying to.
Did you
hold
forget?
on.
Did you forget that it was off? Oh no!
And then I got I think 8th or 10th. I can't remember. I was pretty much last. So James, how'd you feel the first stage went? It was in the tiny race format too, like Gina, like what you were talking about.
Yeah, and it's a similar thing that you had the 3 different styles of races. So the first one was obviously an ITT, the second one was a points race around Innsbruck Ring, and the third one was up the grade and back down again. So it was the good thing is
yes, that's
which is very important.
Yeah.
So it meant that for all our rider types, everyone was like, I might not be quite good at this one. I've got this one to play for, and how does that shape up over the 3 races? And I think with the first one, my skill set is, I'm a heavier rider. I can put out a hell of a lot of watts. So I took the tactical decision of going, I'm just going to absolutely smash this first stage. I'm going to get in everyone's heads. There's going to be a couple of riders who are stupid enough to try and follow me. Dustin might be an example of this, and they're going to burn some watts, burn some matches, and I'm just going to actually head down and bury myself in it, conscious that I might burn a match or 2 that I don't want to. So yeah, I went off like an absolute rocket on the BMX, which when you're looking at it on screen, it's a bit odd because you're pedaling away sort of like this.
And I was stalking you in your warm up because I was like, I was fan viewing you, watching your warm up, because I was like, I need to see what, because James, I got to beat James, right? And James was like, he's around Watopia just doing 250 watts, just go on like Tempest Fugit or something like that, just steady. I watched you for like 5 minutes, man. You did like 250 watts for 5 minutes. It was ridiculous.
My knee was hurting, so I was just trying to get my legs moving. I felt, I got on the bike and I felt terrible. I was like, this isn't gonna end well. So I was just trying to get my legs moving, just get them spinning, not particularly putting any real effort in. I think I did 1 10-second sprint effort in that warm up, and then got into the pen. Yeah, and then it was a case of, right, I'm gonna really give it some. That was going to be a couple of riders who I was conscious of. Eric was one of them. Robert was another. Again, similar style profile to me, and they kept me honest because I had to keep pushing all the way to the end. Eric was sort of always a couple of seconds behind me, and it's just like, please drop off. I could really do with a breather here and have some water, but it didn't. And I think what I wanted to do is sort of psychologically sort of say, look, I'm going to make this difficult for all of you, and let's see where we get to. And that sort of was, everything played out tactically for what I wanted in that first race. So I was happy with that.
Yeah, and then stage 2 was a points race up the Innsbruck Ring, and that one, again, a fast start, but then everybody settled. So I was like, oh, thank goodness everyone's settling. And then we got to the leg snapper, the all important leg snapper, and I was out the back. I was already out the back, but I'm like, it's okay. Wait for the second 30 kilometer per hour sign on the right, and that's where you attack. That's like the best place to attack. And people were popping their feathers too early, but so everybody, that's where you attack. And went up there, went as hard as I could, caught some places, and then over the top. But James was already gone. He was off.
No, it wasn't the same, because we'd had I had a very specific tactic off our ladder race. Was, when you get you get that little ridge and then onto the bridge across, which is about a kilometre beforehand, is to go and attack there and create a bit of space with a view of get a big enough gap, then you're not having to go full gas up the leg snapper because it was FLL in play. So that was the thinking. But Jim went before me.
Yes.
And he went he put a really concerted attack into the point where he did it was just a bit before where I wanted to go. So it was like, I'm going to bridge across, got onto him, and then we worked, and I can't remember, he bridged across to us as well. So we had about a 3 or 4 second gap going onto the leg snapper. And I was too busy watching the people around me, and didn't notice everyone come flying past. So I think I was about 6 over the top of the leg snapper. Yeah. So loads of people went past me, which is fine. It wasn't a problem. But they also got a bit of a gap downhill. And then we engaged my gravity mode, caught up with them. And I was half expecting everyone to really have a go at the sprint. And I was generally worried about Pete, Zach, Kendrick as well. All really, they were much stronger sprinters in even though it was a small field, they're much stronger sprinters than me. And I was like, I don't really want to get into a sprint fight with them. So, but I took the view of, I'm just going to hammer the sprint. So I went full gas on the sprint, and everyone else didn't quite, or went slightly later than me. So we got over the sprint line. I had like a 2-second gap, and I sat up because I was like, "Oh, that was a match," and that really hurt. And we sort of rolled on to the end of that bit where you sort of turn right, and then it's that sort of long back kilometre and a half before the finish. And I was expecting everyone to catch up, and they didn't. So I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to TT this to the end because I don't want to have a sprint with those guys because they're going to beat me up." And it was that trade-off between, do you save your legs for the sprint or do you invest now? And then, if the group behind had caught me, I had nothing. I wasn't sprinting. So, but they all.
You bought now, right?
I did, and got away with it. I sort of dodged a bullet, that one, from that side. But I'm hoping the psychological edge I put in the first stage is enough at saying he buggered off down the road, for want of a better phrase, so we'll just leave him to it. And that seemed to work.
Yeah, it did, because I was like, I wasn't necessarily going to chase you there either. I was definitely well, I got over the top, and then Jim was with me, and I was like, we gotta push, and so Jim and I were working together, and then when we got to the sprint, he just dropped me like a quarter wood, and he just kept on going, and I was like, well, okay, but then I was watching the gap behind me because I was all by myself. And whoever was behind me, which I don't even know who it was because everybody changed their names to make it funny, but it was really hard to do.
Yeah, it was
and, and so I'm like, and I was trying to play defense because I didn't want to. I don't know. I didn't want it, so I had to burn matches to get to the finish, even though it was like a kilometer away, and I was doing like 4 watts a kilogram or whatever to get to the finish just so I didn't get caught. So that was rough. Anyway, got to the end. I don't know. I was probably 6th or something there. I was not winning, but at that point, I think Pete had calculated that you had won. Is that correct? I think.
Yeah, I think so, for the numbers, as long as I finished.
Yes, as long as you finished, which brings us to the third stage. So the third stage is Oh Hill No, going up the hill, going up the grade, and
coming down. Who picked that nonsense?
Yeah, who did pick that? I don't know why.
Who picked that nonsense?
But so at that point, Pete says in the chat, James won. Congratulations, James, you won. All right. I said to everybody, let's all go ride with Coco because we don't need to do this. Only James has to finish. So let's make James do it, and we don't have to do it. But of course, nobody liked that idea, and we all had to race. But so we're going up the hill, and everybody's kind of keeping it cool, keeping it calm, and then as soon as it starts to really kick in, like right around between 1 and 2, it starts to really getting steep, and that's when things started separating. And I was proud of myself because I was at my FTP trying to go up the entire thing, and I did pretty well. I did not get a good score at the top of the grade, but that no matter to that.
Yeah, that course sucks though.
Yes, I mean, when we got to the blue section. I was up there with James, and who else was with us? It was James, you, me, and was it Pete? Or
we had Pete, yeah. And
Pete.
on that blue flatter section, you kicked on, I followed you, and Pete didn't quite. So there's a bit of a gap spread out to him, and then fair play to him, he paced it that second half of the climb really well and caught back on and went fast.
Yeah, he went past me. Yeah, but I was trying to give everything I could. Despite you not wanting to work with me, I kept on saying, let's go, because I wanted to give you something there because I knew you were gonna win, and I wanted to make sure that you had that locked in there. So I don't know how much that helped, but I'm pretty sure that was the deciding factor, even though you won the stage previous. But so I'm pretty sure that was it. So, and then how'd the rest of it play out? Because I ended up with I don't know, I got like 3rd or 4th or 5th or something on that stage.
Oh, I think it's a great result from yourself, considering you got there, and it almost was a minor explosion. I think about a couple of minutes later, where basically Dustin's legs fell off, which was quite funny. I think a big shout out.
Were you chirping in the chat too?
Yeah,
I hope everyone was chirping in the chat this entire time.
I couldn't race with my glasses on because they kept steaming up, so I couldn't really chat.
Here.
Yeah, that's what happens when you lay down the watt hammer.
Pretty much.
It's just an unnecessary byproduct.
I think we had Jacob off the front, and fair play to him. He put a solid effort up that climb and deservedly got over the top in first place, and he was about 4 or 5 seconds ahead of me. between me and Pete, we were sort of tussling up the climb to that last, that last bend, the steep section. It holds 12% before it narrows out, and I just got out the saddle and was just be able to get a gap on him. And then we obviously went down the round and then back down again, and that's where unfortunately poor Jacob got stuffed by the fact I'm heavier. And the BMX can fly. It was basically like ET on the way down, and I think I put about 20 seconds into him. It was really bad. Wow. And managed to rather jammily win. So if the finish had been at the top, and I think it probably should have been, if it had been in FR or any other series, you'd have put the finish at the top. But as soon as they put it downhill, it gave me a horrendous advantage if we weren't too far ahead of me. And I took that together. So I feel... I obviously took a clean sweep of the wins, but I felt bad because I think they were, some of the races were a lot closer than what the scores play out. So, but it was good because the races were competitive, and I think across the other categories as well, we saw that, especially in the women. So I want to say a big shout out to everyone in the club who participated. It was really good fun, and hopefully we can build on that and have greater numbers across the areas. And it was amazing to watch the ACAT ladies really sticking it to the BCAT boys. That was quite impressive with Julia and was it Rachel? Their climbing up the grade was pretty impressive to watch, and
just wrecking everyone.
They were. It was amazing to watch. So big shout out to those two from that perspective. I'm so glad I wasn't in that. I would have been spat out the back. But managed to get the win. Really pleased with that because that formed part of my training. That's been something I've had on my plan to be competitive. So I'm really happy with that. And I'll fully take all the abuse of being a sandbagger that I'm going to get across the club and everywhere else.
No way.
And go from there.
Hey, no way. You put in the work. That's just how it goes, man. That's how it goes. You did great. I'm proud of you, and I'm glad that I was instrumental in your win. So you're welcome.
It's all me. All me.
You couldn't have done it without your team that you wouldn't even work with, but
ignored. Yeah, that sounds like some of the pros actually. So I
right. Oh man, well you are on your media tour, so I appreciate you taking the time to talk about to us, Your Majesty. So now yesterday when we're talking about this, talking about the champs and everything like that, I had mentioned to the lady I live with who smells so nice. Does this drive you crazy when I talk about this and stuff like that? And she's like, yeah, I guess a little, not really too much. But I said, well, what does drive you crazy? And she's had a very long list. So I put it out to us here about what do we as Zwifters, what do we do that drives the people that we live with, crazy or something. And I've got a lot here that was very exhaustive list. I know James does too, probably, but and I know Gina has to get ready for her race here soon, and Mimsy's probably really, Mimsy's got some things. So Gina, why don't you start? You and Mimsy start first. What does Mimsy get so upset about?
The thing that upsets her most, if I have to tell her that she has to get off of my lap because I need to get ready for a race. Like in this point, she just wants the cuddles.
Yeah, and, look at that face. She's going to be enraged.
Really, really, really gets annoyed about if I have to take her off of my lap. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of the other things that you're going to talk about, I can voice Mimsy's opinion on those as well.
Well, that is definitely a thing. My dog doesn't like that either. When I have to stop playing with her, you're doing what? Why are you going to go and yell in the basement? And what are you doing?
Look how cute she is doing this though. She's just on my hand, enjoying it.
Oh, Mimsy. Oh, yeah. I could see her getting.
My dog is not allowed in the. In this room anymore because he has no concept of spatial awareness and will just try to casually he'll sit there and be out of the way most of the time and just watch me like I don't know why you're doing all this and not going anywhere, but okay. Then he'll try to crawl under the crank arms and I'm like, yeah, no, that ain't a good spot.
So Gina, does Mimsy just sit there and watch you on the bike and just look at you in a sort of level of disgust when you're riding?
Yes, and I also get the occasional meow. 'Cause she's getting old, so her voice has gotten
Disapproval.
deeper. So she gives me the occasional meow, like, isn't it time to get off already? You know, look how cute I am, ready for more cuddles. That's basically the look that I
The
get.
disapproval.
She is smart enough to not come close to the bike though.
Yeah.
Like she also doesn't like the sound of the fans. So she kind of sticks out of that specific area, especially if I'm cycling.
Our dog is, she's still a puppy. She's only a year old, and she usually she's been pretty good about staying away. So I usually don't even let her down here because she chews on too many other things. But she's gotten better. So now she's been able to come down when I'm riding my bike. But just the other day, I didn't have my fan on, so I turned on my fan, and her toy was in front of my fan, so she comes over to get her toy, and she's like gets hit in the face with the wind, and she's like trying to go get it, and she's hit in the face again. She couldn't figure it out, and so so she just left. She didn't want it anyway, but
Didn't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, I know. It was, as part of the exhaustive list, one of the things, we can just go through. We don't have to go through all of this, but stinky chamois, I think, is one of the biggest things that drives the people I live with crazy. And I didn't think it was that stinky, but I will hang my kit to dry. And sometimes if I needed to dry faster, I'll put it up in the window of our of our bedroom, so the sun hits it. I know this is kind of maybe a little too much, but the sun hits it, and then it dries faster. But then my daughter said that you shouldn't do that. It looks like a ghost, so it always freaks her out. So I need to rethink that. All right, somebody else go next. Yeah.
I would like to voice the opinion of our pets regarding the stinky chamois.
Yeah.
Because Mimsy has a habit. If I throw my bibs on the floor, she actually has the habit of actually going to the sweaty clothes and rolling around in them. So I don't know if your dogs do this as well, but for Mimsy, the stinky chamois are actually a plus.
No. I know our dog Prentice did that. He walked up to it and he sniffed it and he looked in disgust and walked away. So clearly, a lot worse in our household.
Yeah, I think the biggest one is just yapping about bike things like constantly.
Yeah,
and, it's like that hobby that you don't really care too much about, but you're supportive of your partner doing, so you'll listen. But you're like, eh. I could do without all this yapping.
Yeah.
Do you get the point of when you come back in and say, "Oh, how did you do?" And you know that question is they don't. I say my wife more than my daughter. It's like they're asking that question out like this. They don't really don't really care.
No.
And the problem is any level of detail, you can just see it going in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
It's like I'm. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, it doesn't ask that question anymore because she knows the answer is always finishing first anyway. So.
Yeah.
I say that as I did not even come close to finishing first in the last race I did, but.
Man, one thing I definitely have the laundry thing too, though. The lady I live with who smells so nice, she always talks about how we always have to wait for the laundry to get done. But you can't we have a speed cycle on our machine, and it takes 37 minutes or 36 minutes or something like that. But you can't just leave your dirty chamois hanging out, right? I mean,
of course you can. Do anything you want to.
Really?
We're adults.
Man.
We're adults. We can do anything we want now.
I always get it washed and get it hung up because, I don't know. It stinks enough, I guess. But but what about, does it happen to you guys being on the bike when you said this race will only take take 20 minutes. It's only going up the Alp or something like that. And then it takes a lot longer. Does that happen to you? Yeah, it happens to me.
I think it's less of that and more of my race is at 7:30, but that also means I'm starting to get things around and get ready at 6:30, 6:45. So it's
but it's I agree with that. It's that timing around for both probably me and Dustin is that family. So the amount of dinner times I've missed because of ZRL, even though we try and ring fence Tuesdays out, and ironically. having asked this question and then sat down for lunch, say, I've got to go on the podcast. They were like, really? Really? Did you just say that, we've highlighted this is an issue? I was like, yeah, but you know how this works from that side. So, then it's also the other side to that is sometimes we all have purposely have an evening meal or a meal after the race, and when you've done a race, the last thing you want to come off is either have a meal, even though it's been beautifully made for you. It's like the last thing you want to do is eat, or I need a period of time to recover before I want to.
You get off the bike and then you're not hungry, and then like give it like 30 minutes to an hour, then you want to eat everything.
But equally, I do think my family play on that, so they will cook a 5-course roast dinner purposely and sit it down in front of me and almost force feed it to me directly after a race, just to make the point of like, you can Zwift, but you're doing it on our terms, similar to what we're seeing down in Gina's screen, if that makes sense.
Oh, she didn't like that joke because it made me laugh.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I know for the food thing, I think we kind of have a similar thing, but it's the opposite. Like I think it's like Tater Tot Tuesday, because I usually will do the cooking, I guess, and and I don't eat before the race, because my last meal before the race is usually my lunch that I have, and then because I can't eat too close to when I race, otherwise I'll just puke. And so anyway, like I always make like something super quick, like get home, tater tots, frozen pizza, something like that. So I think. I think they get tired of that, but that's how it goes, I guess. But and I know, Gina, are you okay with time, or I know you got to get on your race?
Yeah, I was just saying, let's give Mimsy her privacy so that she can clean in peace and not be cameraed for it. And I will go get race ready. It was lovely talking to you today.
Yes.
And maybe see you next week. Who knows?
Yes, that sounds good. Good luck, Gina.
Thank you.
We'll see you, Gina. Good luck.
See you later, Gina. Good luck in the race.
Yeah. All right, and then thank you, Gina. That was awesome. So let's keep going. We do have a lot of other things here too. So one of the things I have to talk about, that the lady I live with who smells so nice said, whenever she like goes to something where we would both be expected, like maybe, I don't know, church or a dance class or something like that, or something, or a parent function for school, and they always say, "Oh, where's Dustin? He's riding his bike." Okay, but there's like 12 inches of snow outside. Yeah, he's racing. Yeah, it's in the basement. And he's
explaining what Zwift is. It's like
Is there something we need to do as part of Watopia Weekly? The Watopian Weekly is a predetermined statement, a bit like the stickers, where we can explain what Zwift is. It's almost a public service announcement that we can provide to all our listeners and viewers to say this is what we're doing, in a way that makes some vague sense, if that makes sense, and some credibility around it. Because
absolutely. Well, we'll have to come. We'll workshop that because it's got to do something with providing fitness and maintaining longevity within the virtual cycling community or something.
So I had a really prominent one that both child and parent pointed out, and that was the amount of cycling stuff that is in the house, both in kit and equipment, if that makes sense, which is an unsubtle nod maybe to random bikes or shiny new things sitting in the garage, if that makes sense. So but it's made a valid point about, I have, especially with kit, I've got lots of bib shorts, especially, they've also, it's quite fresh in their knowledge coming off of FRR, where I was going through 2 or 3 sets of bib shorts a day. So it was a constant wash cycle, constant kit everywhere. And they were just like, you've got so much stuff. And I said, but I do use it. And they're like, but you still got too much stuff. And it's just everywhere. And I looked around the house tidying up this morning, and there's cycling stuff in every room. There's still wax on the kitchen table when I last waxed my chain, because I did it late at night in there. So I was just like, maybe I need to consolidate this in the garage, and that needs to be the safe zone and keep everything else out of the house.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you might need to do that, James. You have a very understanding wife and daughter there.
I've got like cycling glasses in here, and this is the office, and it's like, that's not such a good sign. So maybe need to do a bit of an amnesty and clear everything into one space, and probably do an audit on all the gear that I've got, actually.
And how about the art behind you? How much of that is cycling?
You've got my up to Zwift under an hour PB, and that's
nice. That's a good flex.
Only one in here. Then I've got a similar one, which is in downstairs in the garage, which is the first CRL race that I won. I took the Strava after it, and then sort of framed it because that was quite a, you have these memorable events and stuff like that. I did that, and then you got loads of Pain Cave sort of memos and stuff like that. So that's fine in there. But that one is quite a nice print, and that's the token effort in this space upstairs. So I just need to find a way of hiding. I need some sort of secret spy cavern that you press a button and it opens up and it's all wonderfully all laid out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then some sort of automatic chamois butter dispenser. Yeah, that would be cool. Well,
that's what. Oh, that's like in the public restrooms where they have like the soap dispensers. Like, you can just do that, except for chamois cream.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
It's a little extra.
Oh my gosh.
It's a little extra.
Yeah, a little extra. Oh gosh, that reminds me of a very, 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 very weird story here. May I digress for a second? So go to the grocery store, right? Okay, so go to the grocery store, and I have to use the restroom. So I go, okay, I'll be back. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Back when I was growing up, we didn't have really. There was like when you go to the grocery store, they had bathrooms, but like they were always in the back, like in the storeroom or something like that for the employees. And like if you had to go to the bathroom, you had to use one of those, and like because I always thought it was so weird when you had to go to the bathroom, but then. Like, I don't know, some law must have been passed that they have public bathrooms for everybody. I know we're getting off topic here, but I'm just giving you some backstory. So the grocery store we go to, you have to go upstairs to go to the bathroom. So I go up the stairs, or you can take the elevator. So I go upstairs, go to the and then they just installed these automatic doors on there. So you you open the door and it like stays open, so you can like get a wheelchair in or something like that. Okay, so you open the door and there's a clear view of the urinal right there. I'm like, okay, so I have to go to the bathroom. So go in there, go to the bathroom, using the bathroom, and the door is still open. And like, and it won't close. They just put these things on there, right? And I'm like, well, I mean, you can't see anything, but like, and thank goodness nobody walked by. But like, I'm done, and I turn around, and the door is still open. So, oh my gosh. But anyway,
not questionable. You don't care about
that was so bizarre. So then, oh my gosh. But anyway, getting back to the chamois butter and stuff like that. Happy to know that. I see this note down here, James, that you put on there that they know where you are. That is a good thing. That's a positive right there, man.
Yeah, and there was another one as well saying that because basically it was that how did I put it? There was this 10-minute monologue of and another thing. I was like, whoa, I've just asked this question, and it was like, this has been building for a while. So it's like, oh, probably probably going to help my relationship now. It's all out in the open, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But the other thing I said is, it's, I wouldn't say tolerated. It's like,
it's supported.
It keeps you healthy. It's a positive thing from that side. The worrying thing, they know where I am, which I'm going to start checking that they're not tagging me to sort of track my movements from that side.
Yeah.
And also another bit that came out, which I didn't put in the notes, was apparently I get cranky if I haven't raced for a couple of days. I wouldn't have thought of that. That was sort of like, oh, hello.
Yeah, Josh, has that happened to
you? I
haven't
raced for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. As long as I'm on the bike, I'm happy.
Yeah.
The lady I live
I'm not happy about doing zone 2, but
Yeah. She always tells me, I think you need to go for a bike ride. You need to get on your bike because and that usually clears things up for me. But that's a good point there, James. Good point. And I also see this one on here that says has more baths than anyone else in the house. I'm there. Yeah, because you can't not shower after that. It's just way too stinky. So
yeah, and I do think the experience of the Mad Lad Challenge is quite fresh in the memory of basically trying to save my undercarriage by sort of having regular baths to make sure I wasn't destroying my bum, basically. But I also, there was another bit I didn't mention in there, is apparently I don't clean the bath out afterwards, which I disputed. So we'll keep an eye on that one. But yeah, clearly there's some hygiene habits that I maybe am taking too many baths. But I think it's good. Yeah. You got to relax. If we could have a hot tub in the garden, then I'm all in for that.
Yeah, Epsom salt bath.
Yeah, or a sauna or something. Isn't that a thing? That's a thing.
Yeah. I can't help if I want to look after myself. My body is a temple.
You're
A
the
ruined
you're,
one,
you're
I
the
might
world
add.
champion. Come on, you wouldn't ask Tadej Pogacar to do anything different, right? I mean,
No.
yeah. I'm sure that went down really well too, right? When you told everybody that.
I might not send to this sort of podcast recording when it goes live. We might keep this one quiet.
Yeah, right. might be. Well, let's see. We also one thing I also had on here that was a part of that big tirade as well was because we have a big screen TV, so a TV. It's not that big, I guess, 43 inches. Although I find it quite adequate. Anyway, it's in 4K. Hey, but the watching other people's Zwift. So like my wife and daughter both brought this up. That why do we always have to watch these? I'm like, you don't have to watch them, but like if you're not watching anything and the TV's off, I could turn it on, and watch this thing instead of watching it on my phone, right? Which is only this big, and the TV is huge. So, but they were talking about how. I don't mind watching it with the full volume and all the heavy breathing and everything. And
yeah, I do it. I have to say I understand that completely.
Yeah, I get it, but
I do that, but I understand.
Yeah,
it ties into one of the comments that was raised to me about the de-essing.
Oh yes,
there was that concept of you're doing all this effort and you're not going anywhere. Fine, yeah, I get that.
Yep.
But you're de-essing. You can't even interact with us as a family unit because you're not riding, but you're talking to people about riding, and you're very loud when you do it. It's like
you're yelling at them and everything. Yep. I wonder, next time you do that, James, you should, and Josh, you two, you should get your watch going or whatever and record it, and I wonder how many calories you burned being a DS. Actually. Josh is actually quite calm though. He's because I remember he used to DS our ladder races all the time, and he's way more calm than I am. At least, well, I'm always too amped, I think. But
it's probably a good one to track your heart rate as well.
Yeah,
that time period.
I bet it's really high. Yeah, next time. Yeah,
it probably is the teams that I captain or DS for because it's just like
just yelling at people.
Yeah.
Why aren't you going faster?
Yeah. Pedal harder.
Yeah.
I'm here to yell at people.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, speaking of pedaling harder, DRS is coming in, and I want to talk about the first two stages of this, if we can, please. The first one we have is Downtown
Let me
Titans.
open that up so I can refresh
my
memory.
Well, right. This is going to be awesome. I'm so excited that DRS is back. The Dirt Racing Series. If you haven't signed up for it, jump on in. If you can't make all the races, that's totally fine. Make the ones that you can because that will help your team out. If you don't have a team, just get on there, sign up. You'll be able to get into a team. You can get matched. Excuse me. So on the Dirt Racing Series, and I love the series goes to 11, which is a nod to Spinal Tap, which is fantastic. We've got the Titans KOM reverse, and then the Hilly KOM and the JWB Sprint. Those are the three segments that are really at play, and this is going to be it's going to be something else. But you got to remember with DRS, there's different things, right? Sometimes it's FTS, sometimes it's FAL. So you really got to know what you're going to do. So I have this up here, so I'm going to say it correctly. Titans KOM reverse, that's FTS, all right, and that's so fastest through. Then the Hilly KOM is FAL, so that means first across the line. So I won't get that one. And then the JWB Sprint is also FTS. That one's FTS. So we go FTS, FAL, FTS. It's a good idea to write this stuff down because it's really hard to remember when you're out there, I think.
Well, I was gonna say, given Dustin's lack of remembering what happened in the Coalition Championships, I think we'll test him next week if he remembered which one was which.
Oh my goodness! But and I don't know how far the points go down. I know it's in the road book, but I didn't look through that yet. But this is going to be fun. So Josh, who are you racing for on Tuesday for DRS?
It's Matcha, and
yes.
I'm on the Sapphire Emerald U.S. East team. And I am prepared to be just shellacked.
You're gonna be great, man. You've been working. Your goal was to get up this high, so this is where you're at.
Yeah. I mean, like it'll be a challenge. So I'm not like overly, concerned about it. I mean, it'll still be fun regardless. So I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching that race back with my family. That's but and then and James, to whom are you racing with? Wait,
I'm racing for, again, I get put on a team that I quite can't pronounce the name, so that's typical. So it's I think it's called Gaia, so GAEA, and I've raced with them before. So we're EMA, I think Central, and in the Amethyst level. So we've got a team of 7. So looking forward to getting off and starting with that and seeing how we get on, because I think it's going to be good fun.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I am returning with a Coalition Magma, which is a little bit easier. So Liquid Hot Magma. Yes, that's us. And we are in the USA East. I think the same time as Josh, which is the 6:30 time for us. So that one's going to be fun. We've got some shout out to Nat, a returning champion as well. So, we're not champions, but we did really well. And so her and I are returning from last season, and then we've got a whole new team. It's going to be fantastic. I'm excited. Lots of really good talent. And we're in the silver gold category. And after the Coalition Championships, my velo score went up a bunch. So I hope I can stay in the gold, if that makes sense, because I'll DS if I can't. But, it's just DRS is so much fun. So anyway.
Yeah, and I think it's worth just noting, I forgot to mention it when we were talking about the Coalition Championship, that final race, if you look at your velo predicted positioning, you finished 4th, so congratulations on that. But you were expected to finish 9th, so you massively outperformed it. So yeah, no, well done, Dustin. That was really you did really well up that.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I was trying. My motivation was to get to the top. I had a pacing guide, I thought I was going to have a pacing guide, and it was just basically try and hold above 240 for the whole thing, and I did it for most of it. But oh man, thank you very very much for that. I did. I should big up myself, because I did get I dropped 4 minutes off my PR, which is huge.
Oh, that is super.
So, yeah.
That I say that DRS race 1 will be really interesting, because it'll be the opportunity to get a real flavour of how good your position is and how big the leagues is, and sort of set yourself up for the rest of the round. And it's a nasty one. You're gonna hurt yourself. You've got prolonged climbing, you've got short, steep, intense climbing, and then they've chucked a sprint in just to really sort of ruin your legs before you get to the finish. So nice.
And there's finish points on the line too.
Yep.
Don't forget about that. All right, and then Josh, you probably want to talk to the tactics here for the stage 2, because stage 2 is a team time race. And
yes.
I know you have more tactics on this than I do, because I usually just try let's just get to the end. But it's on the Greenway in New York. There's no segments in play. It's all 31K. So what is that? How many miles is that? About 14, 15 miles or something like that, maybe. 16 miles. I'm not sure.
Let me just refresh my memory on this course, because I think it's mostly it's mostly flat with just the couple of punches
Bridge.
The bridge and all that good stuff. So my opinion on team time races is it's weird, but you have to monitor and pay close attention to what other teams are doing. Someone slow rolling off the front, don't care. Second person slow rolling off the front, also don't care. But if you see, people on the same team starting to try to poke out there and roll off the front, then you need to respond. So I think it's an exercise of being very, very attentive to what teams are collectively doing. Because hey, if I'm on my team, we have all 6 riders in a race, but it's just me smashing off the front, who cares? That does nothing for my team. But if we have a pack of 4, we try and break away in TT, obviously the rest of the group is obligated to kind of respond to that. So
yes, and the draft is on. So you can use whatever bike you want to, but we can't use time trial bikes. But everything is on. So
treat it like a normal scratch race. Just pay very close attention to collective team strategy and what what other teams are doing with groups of people. I'm guessing a lot of people aren't super familiar with this race format, so they may just chase anything that goes off the front anyway. But I certainly won't be caring a whole lot about like your solo rider or two riders rolling off the front.
It's also really important to have that comms piece with your team as well, because similar to the team time trials, that's the fourth rider. So you always want to be slightly mindful of how everyone's doing, who is your fourth rider out on the roads, and sort of where you can, if you want to try and push on, or how you react, just making sure you do reacting and as a group, if that makes sense, where you can.
Yeah, because that's a solid point there too, because it's not you don't have to get all 8 riders across the team, you just have to get the 4th rider across the team. And you do get more points for how many people finish though, I believe, right? But so there's so many tactics here. You could TTT it the entire way and start, pushing people out the back, and you can burn out people or something like that. That's totally a valid way to do it. Or you could just blob up and try and get to the end. You can draft other teams. There's nothing that says that you can't do that. There's so much that you can do here. This is awesome. It's one of my favorite nuances of this series. So
yeah, I think it's a different element, and I think it's quite underutilized. So it provides an added dynamic, and just having that Brooklyn Bridge KOM towards the end, it's just a bit. It's not. It doesn't really light the world up. It's just a bit draggy, and it will cause some gaps, and you need to be really on it with what's happening ahead of you and behind you as well. So I think I'm excited. This can be good fun.
Yeah, and how many escalators are there on this route? I don't know.
Too many.
I agree with Josh. Too many for a start.
Too many. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is going to be fun, and I got to give a shout out to our good friend the Rovinator, because he dislikes the escalators with 100% passion. He does not like them at all. So good luck. I hope you don't have all of them. But well, gentlemen, we are getting close here to the end. And before I forget here, we have I haven't heard from any famous people on Zwift, but there are some out there. I know they are. So let us know if you're famous and you want to talk or come on the podcast or something like that. I think that would be funny. I have been we do have some future episodes, some people coming on. I'm trying to get some of the athletes that ride for our country here for USA, just because I see them more often on Zwift, and sending them and seeing if they can get on there. We've already got some responses from that too, which is really interesting. Also on Zwift, when you do see someone that does have the check next to their name, or it says USA rider, for example, or something, or USA cycling thing, or whatever says for any other different countries, Team GB maybe. It's that's super cool. You can always send them a message. Most of the time they answer, but they're usually like in a hard interval and passing me anyway. but that's super cool. So, and if anybody has any other things that people they want us to talk to, we're up for that too. We have, we'll talk to anybody. It's pretty cool. So with that, and I know we've got the FRR Matt Ladd Challenge. All those people that completed that, congratulations. A lot of people are getting T-shirts this time. Isn't that right, James?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's 5 or 6 finished it, and they all finished it in the category to get it. So yeah, watch this space.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. So, well, with that, gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Gina, for being here. I know she had to go because she's going to go smash the race club here, which is awesome. So good for her. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us this week, every week, and every other week, whenever we do that. And we had this, we got to make sure that you can see the guitar, because I do actually play this live. But please, if anybody has anything, send us a message on the Discord server, or send us an email at WatopianWeekly@gmail.com. Someone on staff will get it back to you within 2 weeks. Also, add your favorite recipes. We're still waiting on the first place falafel recipe, which Josh, you maybe forgot about that, but we got to get that in there. But well, with that, gentlemen, we'll close the episode. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good day. Yeah. All right.